Today on Top Shelf Sports, the football team had a Wednesday night matchup with reigning MAC Champion Toledo.
Huskie basketball tipped off this week. Find out how they did.
And NIU men's soccer played in the MAC tournament. We'll tell you how they fared. Top Shelf Sports starts now. Welcome to the newest edition of Top Shelf Sports. I'm Brandon Giese.
And I'm Jamia Green. Brandon, this was the busiest week of the semester for Huskie athletics.
Yeah, Jamia, we had our fall sports and our winter sports clashing all at one time.
Yeah, a few teams wrapped up their season, unfortunately coming up short in the MAC tournament.
But one team has enhanced their opportunity to clinch a division title, and that's the NIU football team. The Huskies moved one step closer to clinching the MAC West Division with a 38-15 win over Toledo on Wednesday night. The special teams got it going as defensive end Sutton Smith blocks a punt and runs this one in for the touchdown. We may be seeing that play later again in the show. Quarterback Marcus Childers found his groove in the second half with 2 rushing touchdowns to ice the game. The Huskies win it and remain an undefeated 6-0 in Mid-American Conference play. They remain at home in their next matchup against the Miami Redhawks.
The women's basketball team is competing in the WNIT preseason tournament this week. Senior forward Courtney Woods went off for 38 points, propelling NIU to an 89-80 come-from-behind victory over Yale last night. Michaela Boyd added 17 points, while Maya Starks recorded 13 points and a game-high 8 assists. The Huskies are waiting for the results of tonight's Iowa State-Niagara contest to see where they'll play in the second round Sunday.
Maya Starks was dishing out dimes in her first game back from a torn ACL. It's good to see her back on the court.
And our reporter James Krause caught up with Maya about her comeback in this week's Huskie Corner.
Thanks, guys. I'm joined here in Huskie Corner by Maya Stark. She's of the women's basketball team. Thanks for coming on set with us.
Thank you.
So last season, your season got cut short, unfortunately, due to an ACL injury. What has this last year been like, trying to recover from that and get back to basketball?
It's been a long process as far as with physical therapy and recovery. I was doing my physical therapy at a place called React in Chicago. So as you can see, like, it was all the way in Chicago, so it was kind of like a long process getting there and getting back, but this place was really good and I'm glad that I was able to go there. And I think they helped me recover pretty quickly and really well. I think I've come back and I'm pretty much back to myself, and I'm really blessed for that.
And you're back to get your chance to play again with the team. The team starts their season this week with the Women's NIT rather. What does a win in that tournament mean for your team to start the season off?
It'll be really big. I mean, we're playing some pretty good teams, and it'll just show that we're capable of competing against anyone this year. I think we have a lot of talented people on the team, and winning in the WNIT will be huge for us.
And the team went 15-15 last season, below 500 in conference play. What is the thing that Coach Carlson has preached this team that she thinks is most important for you guys to win this season?
I mean, I think it's just getting those pieces back. We lost John A. too, and she was huge for us. And I think it's not more so like changing how we played. It's just more so keeping everyone healthy and playing how we did before those injuries happened, and hopefully to do obviously a lot better than we did last year.
Maya Stark, she's back for women's basketball, and now we're going to send it back to the desk with Brandon and Jamia.
The men's basketball team opened its season against Rockford on Tuesday and picked up a convincing victory. The Huskies were without guards Eugene German and Dante Thorpe, but it wasn't an issue as they won by 39 points. 5 Huskies scored in double figures, including forward Lacey James, leading the team with 17 points off the bench. The Huskies return to action tonight against Northern Kentucky at home. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m.
With several weeks of preparation, the cross-country team is competing at the Midwest Regional Championships. The last time the Huskies took the field was at the MAC Championships, where they finished in 4th place. Sophomores Ashley Tutt and Mackenzie Callahan also earned second-team all-conference honors and will look to lead the way once again.
The wrestling team opened its season in Fargo, North Dakota yesterday against North Dakota State. Huskies suffered a crushing defeat 35-4 at the hands of the 22nd best team in the nation. The lone win of the night came from Britt Wilson as he upset the 24th best 174-pound wrestler in the country. Next up on the schedule is the Husky Duels here in DeKalb next Saturday.
The NIU volleyball team is looking to bounce back tonight after losing to Bowling Green last Saturday. The team lost 3-0, putting them at 8-6 in conference play. Sophomore Jory Radke led the Huskies with 15 kills, adding 9 digs and a pair of blocks. Freshman Grace Ballenseifer had 2 assists and a team-high 2 aces. The Huskies are back in action as they take on Central Michigan at home. First serve is set for 7 o'clock this evening.
November is National Type 1 Diabetes Month, which holds a special place in sophomore volleyball player Miranda Carlin's heart.
Top Shelf sports reporter Maddie Barrett got an inside look at what Carlin is doing, how she is handling type 1 diabetes.
Sophomore Miranda Carlin was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes just 2 years ago, but it hasn't slowed her down. She wants more people to know the prominence of type 1 diabetes and what it really is.
There's a lot more people with type 1 diabetes than we realize, whether that be athletes or just in general. I think it affects more people than we think about.
Head coach Ray Gooden expanded on Miranda's skills and growth as a player despite her diagnosis.
She's always there for people. She does her best to do not only for herself but for others, and really for others more importantly than herself. And I think she's continued to grow and improved her time here at NIU.
Carlin said she also wants to clear up common misconceptions about diabetes.
I think a lot of times when people think about diabetes itself, they think about eating too much sugar or not exercising enough or that type of thing, and that's not true.
Carlin said she appreciates the growing support from her teammates.
It's been incredible. I can't thank them enough for everything. It's from the little things as being super supportive going into last Saturday's match with the Diabetes Awareness Night to everyone who says, if you ever need anything, let me know, or if there's any way I can help, let me know, or just checking up and asking, being like, so how are you doing? How have you been? Things like that mean a lot because it just shows that they do care and I'm not fighting this alone.
For Top Shelf Sports, I'm Maddie Barrett.
After the break, kicks, punches, and chokes. How a club on campus is teaching people to defend themselves.
And a state-of-the-art gaming arena is bringing people together. We'll tell you more. Stay with us.
You made this vacation happen, cleverly merging promotions,
double points with every purchase,
and cross-referencing travel sites. Aloha! If you can ace your vacation, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
The men's soccer season has come to an end. The Huskies were defeated by the Western Michigan Broncos in the first round of the MAC tournament 3-1. Huskies struck first when junior Jan Mertens scored the only NIU goal of the game in the 13th minute. After that, it was all Broncos who scored all 3 goals in the first half. NIU closes their season at 8-9-1, their most wins since 2011. The Huskies had an up and down year, but saw some players win some awards. Nick Markinich was named MAC Freshman of the Year, while senior Kevin Rodriguez was named to the MAC First Team. Rodriguez is the first player to be named to the All-MAC team since 2014. Junior Jan Mertens, as well as freshman Anthony Markinich, were named to the All-MAC second team. The 3 All-MAC honors are the most the Huskies have seen since 2011.
The men's tennis team's fall season is almost at a close after wrapping up a Viking Invitational this past weekend at Cleveland State. The Husky sophomore Christopher Ortega and freshman David Pata were able to advance to the round of 32 in the tournament before being knocked out in singles play. The Huskies finished their season at the MAC Indoor Invitational this weekend in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Speaking of tennis, the indoor tennis team, soccer, and cross-country squads have all been in MAC play over these past weeks.
Top Shelf sports reporter Alyssa Galan took it to the streets to see if Huskies have been keeping up with NIU athletics.
What's up, Husky Nation? I'm Alyssa Galan, and I'm here on campus to test these Huskies' knowledge about what's going on with NIU athletics. Let's see how they do. What teams are in the MAC tournament over the past couple of weeks?
If I'm not mistaken, it had to be cross country, soccer, and wasn't it tennis?
Yes, indoor tennis. Yes, you got that right.
Soccer, cross country, and indoor tennis.
It is tennis, cross country, and soccer.
Yes, you got that. Who did the NIU football team face this week?
Toledo.
University of Toledo. Toledo.
Yes. What Husky teams are playing at home this weekend?
I have no idea.
We have volleyball and both men and women's basketball.
If I'm not mistaken, it should be volleyball, and I think both men's and women's basketball.
Yeah, that was good.
Women's and men's basketball, and there's one more. I'm sorry, volleyball.
Yeah, volleyball. You got that right. What Ivy League school did NIU face last night?
Yale.
Rhymes with Dale. Yale.
Yes, you got that right.
Brown?
Yale.
Wasn't it Yale? All right.
Yes. Well, those are some interesting answers. It looks like some of these Huskies actually know what's going on with NIU athletics. I hope to see you guys at the men's basketball game this weekend. Let's send it back to the studio.
Senior forward Courtney Woods is looking to improve after being named to the All-MAC first team during the 2017-2018 season.
Top Shelf sports reporter Kobe Price caught up with the sharpshooter.
Senior forward Courtney Woods has established herself as one of the premier players of the women's basketball program. The sharpshooting forward stepped up and balled out after season-ending injuries to the Huskies point guards Janae Poison and Maya Starks. Woods averaged over 22 points per game to lead the MAC in scoring, became just the 6th player in women's basketball MAC history to make over 100 three-pointers, and earned first-team All-MAC distinctions.
Kind of went back to like how I played in high school. Like when I played in high school, it was like every time I got the ball, it was like, can I score? What can I do? Can I create for someone? So it's kind of like going back to that mentality. Just like every single time I got the ball, it was like, okay, I need something to make something happen here.
Courtney's production during the 2017-2018 season helped put her on the watch list for the 2019 Cheryl Miller Award, an honor given to the top small forwards in the nation. As NIU season starts back up with a fully healthy roster, Woods isn't worrying herself with the number she puts up in the box score. She's only concerned with the outcome on the scoreboard.
The main role I put on myself is pretty much just win games. Like I don't care if I score like 5 points or 50 points. Like I just really want to do whatever I can do to like win us games.
Courtney is determined to capture the conference title that's eluded her during her collegiate career, but she's going to do it her way, with a smile on her face and always looking forward.
Courtney is definitely somebody who doesn't take anything too seriously. Now she takes the evolution of her game seriously, but she's a fun-loving, smile on her face, easygoing type of kid. And so I really think that that's what makes her successful on the court.
Courtney's individual excellence and team-first mentality leaves her as this week's leader of the pack. For Top Shelf Sports, I'm Kobe Price.
Courtney and the team are looking to grow as their season rolls along.
Speaking of growth, a certain NIU athletics club gives its members a chance to learn a unique fighting style. Top Shelf sports reporter Martin Sotelo hits the mat to find out more.
The NIU Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Club is a unique experience for those involved. Members from beginners to the more advanced fighters have the opportunity to come in, train hard, and learn the art of the sport. With so much time spent together, co-president Kevin Polinkino believes these martial artists have managed to find a family away from home.
We're all so close together, like we're literally choking each other out, we're holding each other, so you tend to enjoy being around those people because you trust them more because they're literally holding your life in their hand.
And with that trust comes a certain level of respect. With a willingness to help each other out, these fighters understand the importance of team unity. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu teaches these students how to use leverage to their advantage. With a variety of techniques including submissions and sweeps, co-president Giovanni Esparza explains why Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a skill unlike any other.
As soon as I can close that distance, it's over. I won. They don't know what to do from bottom. I could break their arms, I could break their legs, I could do both. I could get rid of all their air, I could choke them from behind. It's my game. It keeps me safe.
With tournaments made available through the North American Grappling Association, the club has found a way to use Jiu-Jitsu's advantages outside of practice. But even with competition, Polinkino sees the club's unselfish attitude as its main focus.
It's not always about yourself, so if you know something that your partner's not doing right, you'll probably point it out, and then you want them to get better so you can get better, because iron sharpens iron. So we're just all trying to build up together and be the best that we can.
The NIU Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Club truly gives its members an experience worth fighting for. For Top Shelf Sports, I'm Martin Sotelo.
From shots and grenades to goals and touchdowns, there's a club on campus that is bringing people from all walks of life together. I had the opportunity to learn more about the ins and outs of esports at NIU. The esports club here at NIU has seen some major growth as of late. Just yesterday, the club was able to install 12 new gaming computers in their arena, a space that will potentially elevate the club to new heights. Current president Connor Vagel sees this firsthand.
And so we're really proud to have this because it's going to be a great avenue for our competitive teams to get a little bit stronger. And so that's what my major thing is for the future is I hope that our competitive teams can get up there and make a name for NIU on the national level.
In order to get to a national spotlight, the club has to climb the ranks like everyone else. Their president believes they can get to this point, but they will have to take it one step at a time.
The check marks would be making playoffs and competing against those teams, and then maybe beating one of those teams eventually, and then maybe winning a championship in 5 years down the line. And that would be the ultimate goal that we'd like to see.
The arena is a step in the right direction for the club, but it is also helping all students get involved and meet new people. Project manager of the esports initiative, Janine East, sees it as a positive for everyone.
It also allows anybody on campus who is a registered student to come in and practice on their own time. So that gives them hours and hours to come in and hone their skills.
The esports arena is beginning to help all people around campus interact, something that former President Liam Buchanan is very proud of.
Giving students who play lots of games, who want to be really good, who have that passion to watch esports, to try and compete, to be really good, sometimes it's really hard to find somebody like you. Sometimes it's tough, and there's not always a club for that. Well, now there is a club for that.
The future for this club is looking very bright as they continue to move forward as a group and as people. When we come back, the Blackhawks have made some changes. Find out who's in and who's out.
And we have a jam-packed top 5 plays of the week you won't want to miss.
Jamia, in a shocking turn of events, Blackhawks head coach Joe Quenneville is now without a job.
That's unfortunate, but at least the Bears are still in first place in the NFC North.
That's true.
Let's toss it over to Emily LaRusso to see if they can keep that ball rolling.
Thanks, guys. It's been a crazy week in Chicago sports, so let's get right into it. The Bulls added an L onto their record on Wednesday against the New Orleans Pelicans with a final score of 107-98. Chicago's own Anthony Davis had 32 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 blocks in his best game since spraining his right elbow nearly 2 weeks ago. The Bulls will be coming off 2 days of rest when they take on the Cleveland Cavaliers Saturday night at the United Center. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. The Blackhawks made some moves that shocked all of Chicago this week by firing head coach Joel Quenneville. Quenneville led the Hawks to 3 Stanley Cups and reached the playoffs 9 times in his career in Chicago. Stan Bowman, the Blackhawks general manager, announced the dismissal of Coach Q on Tuesday and hired 33-year-old Jeremy Colliton, former head coach of the AHL Rockford Ice Hogs. Colliton has no prior NHL coaching experience and is now the youngest head coach in the NHL. This news came after the Hawks lost 5 straight leading up to Tuesday. Colliton didn't get off to a strong start, losing last night's game to the Carolina Hurricanes 4-3. The Hawks look to get back on track tomorrow against Philadelphia. Rumors are at an all-time high on the South Side, where the White Sox have the second lowest payroll in the MLB. The White Sox are coming off an 100-loss season and are looking to add some major talent around a young core of players. Rumors suggest the White Sox are interested in 2 major free agents, Bryce Harper from the Washington Nationals and Manny Machado from the Dodgers. With only $13 million committed to next season's payroll, the White Sox are hoping to cash some checks in order to get high-profile names to the South Side. With a stable of young pitchers and a collection of bats ready to hit the majors, Rick Hahn and company are setting out to make a splash. The Cubs season ended in an unexpected and disappointing manner. After a late season collapse, losing the division to the Brewers in Game 163 and a 1-game wild card against the Rockies in back-to-back days, the Cubs look to go back to the drawing board and improve in the offseason. The Cubs also recently picked up on Cole Hamels' $2 million option for the 2019 season. Cubs president Theo Epstein announced that he has informed head coach Joe Maddon and his agent that the team will not offer him a contract extension this winter. The Cubs will reevaluate his contract situation during the 2019 season. The Chicago Bears gave the Buffalo Bills a beatdown for the ages last Sunday. Running back Jordan Howard got the party started with a goal line touchdown early in the second quarter. The Monsters of the Midway didn't stop there, however, as the defense jumped all over Buffalo's lackluster offense. With defensive touchdowns from safety Eddie Jackson and linebacker Leonard Floyd, the Bears were in cruise control all afternoon, beating the Bills 41-9. Chicago will host the Detroit Lions this Sunday at noon for an NFC North showdown. Well, that's all for your update on Chicago sports. Scott will tell you who you need to pick up for your fantasy football teams. Scott?
Thanks, Emily. The waiver wire was hot this week with people to pick up, but man, if you have had any of San Francisco's offense this year, your team has had to do a lot of shuffling. Luckily, the undrafted free agent quarterback Nick Mullins came in and was very solid in his first career start against the Oakland Raiders, throwing for 262 yards and 3 touchdowns. Available in 90% of leagues, Mullins can be the plug-and-play guy for this week against a struggling New York Football Giants team. Running backs are the scarcest position on the waivers, and after not making a move at the deadline, the Philadelphia Eagles are trying to piece together a backfield. Before the bye last week, Josh Adams had played pretty well, carrying the ball 9 times for 61 yards and adding a reception. Available in 87% of leagues, Adams could be a guy to grab this week. Another running back that needs waiver considerations is Cordero Patterson. That's right, the journeyman receiver Patterson is now eligible in CBS, Yahoo, and ESPN fantasy leagues at both running back and wide receiver. Last week he rushed the ball 11 times for 61 yards and a touchdown against the Packers. Sony Michel returns this week, but Patterson could still be a guy to look for moving forward in a Belichick-filled backfield. The biggest news in the NFL this week came from New Orleans when the Saints signed free agent Dez Bryant, sending fantasy owners scrambling to their phones to scoop him up. Added in over 70% of leagues already this week alone, if he's available, you need to grab him. One issue with Bryant is he came in 5 pounds overweight, But this is a huge move and could really be that final piece for some fantasy teams. Another receiver to snag this week is Cincinnati Bengals wideout John Ross. With news breaking that A.J. Green will be out for a few weeks with turf toe, Ross could prove to be the workhorse for the team in the meantime. He's been injured throughout his short career, but if he's able to stay healthy, the speedster could really help with heavy bye weeks approaching. That's all I have for you in a make or break week for a lot of fantasy teams. Let's send it back to Jamia and Brandon. Brandon, I'm really digging that tie today.
Thanks, Scott. I like your tie a lot, too. You know, Jamia, I wonder if David Craighead has any new updates for us in the fighting world.
I heard some rumors that a new fan favorite is back in action. Let's see if the big slugger can fill us in.
Thanks, Brandon and Jem. I'm David the Big Slugger Craighead. First, we'll recap everyone's favorite fight from last week. Then we'll get into a fight with Korean zombies. That'll be interesting. Finally, we will highlight the biggest and baddest man in the biz. Let's get into it. Last Saturday night, everyone got to see a wild fight. Lewis took on the heavyweight champ on 2-week notice. The outcome was no surprise. Last Saturday was a fun fight that everyone already knew the outcome was. It was heavyweight champ Daniel Cormier versus the fat man himself, Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis had a puncher's chance in the cage, but although he landed a couple shots, he could not defend against the single-leg takedown. Daniel Cormier brought down Lewis and wrestled him into a rear naked choke. It will be a long time before we see Daniel Cormier lose the belt. This Saturday night in Denver, Colorado, Chan Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie, takes on Yair Alpantera Rodriguez. The Korean Zombie is known for his strong jaw. He has knockout power, as proven in his last fight where he knocked out Dennis Bermudez. He is on a 3-fight hot streak. Yair Rodriguez is 11-2 and has a 4-inch reach advantage on the Zombie. I have this one going to Rodriguez in the second round by knockout. The baddest man in the biz, Donald the Cowboy Cerrone, comes out of an arm injury to fight Mike Platinum Perry. Platinum Perry loves to slug it out and Cowboy Cerrone likes to stand up too, with a penchant for head kicks. I have this one going to Cowboy Cerrone by knockout in round 2. That's the bell. As usual, I'm David the Big Slugger Craighead, and this has been your MMA update. I will give it back to Brandon and Jem at the desk.
Thanks, David. Always exciting stuff when we get to see the Cowboy back in action.
You know what else is exciting, Brandon? Top 5 plays.
Well, you're right on that. I'll start us off this week. She's a beauty, that number 5. Cam, he's going to fake the handoff to McCaffrey, but it's a bit more than that.
Ooh.
A double end around to Curtis Samuel. Take a look. He goes a long way on this one. He makes the Tampa Bay Buccaneer defense look like they belong in high school. Eventually, he gets into the end zone. The Panthers win this one 42-28.
At number 4, 2 big returns to the floor for NIU basketball. This one is Jalen Key throwing it down and raising the roof. And Maya Starks with a pull-up jumper. Both basketball teams got wins this week.
At number 3, it's the man in LA, Jared Goff. He's going to dump this one off to Malcolm Brown. Take a look at this. He's going to take it down the sideline for a tippy-toe touchdown. Let's look at this guy. The balance on this play is insane. I don't think I could even imagine pulling this off. Wow. The Saints hand the Rams their first loss of the season, however, 45-35.
At number 2, the layup is no good, but the putback, my goodness. And Donovan Mitchell wasn't done yet. And take a look. The crossover on Luka, and Spida throws it down in traffic. Jeez. Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz win this one 117-102.
And the number 1 play of the week, it comes from midweek Maction here in DeKalb. Sutton Smith gets through, blocks the punt, scoop, and score. He takes this one to the big house. Huskies win 38-15.
It's always nice to see Huskies making top plays of the week.
Yeah, that block punt completely changed the game, and it had to be number 1.
You're right on that one. Top Shelf Sports is written and produced by students here at Northern Illinois University.
To keep up with everything Husky Athletics, make sure to check out our social media. I'm Brandon Giese.
And I'm Jamia Green.
Until next time, Husky Nation.